Hey, brothers and sisters, what's up? This is the Reluctant Hobby back again. And this is a video, something I put together pre 2017. All right, and believe me, if the ghost man was waking up then, you can imagine what it is now. All right, but this is the ghost man and the Afro man seeing eye to eye. Now, as we get into this, let me greet everybody real quick. Verwoorden hartelijk goedendag, alle way to the bank. Versus los bonjour, mes amis. Kedo bawani konnichiwa. Ni hao ni ama. Sani bonani. Jambo habaragani. Assalamu alaikum and shalom. As we see eye to eye, the wall worsens for the BAW. See, these women hit the wall, but these women are not going to have anybody with them when that wall gets hit. Ooh, and worse yet, as they age, they're not going to have a community that rally around them when the wall hits, especially if they're with the ghost man. Because while the husband might like them, the rest of the community are not going to see them in the same light as, say, they were old in the Afro community. But these women never think about this. They're thinking to themselves, ooh, I got these curves and I'm going to just show them off. And here's the thing. Even despite the curves on the BAW, the dudes are still making choices in other women that lack the curves, because the curves, after all, don't matter. Understand? Now, the curves are a warning mark, like you see the stripe on a skunk. All right, a skunk is a cute little animal when you really look at it, and it looks cool. Pepe Le Pew, one of us made Pepe Le Pew sing cool, right? But at the end of the day, you understand that when you see them stripes, no matter how tight they look, like speedster stripes, you know to leave the skunk alone. Because you don't want what they got to give when they get upset. Think about this. So long as you let them mill around in their own space, they're good. But you never take a skunk as a pet, because you never know what's going to make it upset enough to spray you with the funk that you don't need. And this is the state of the BAW now. Many people are starting to see the corruption or the corrupted heart of the BAW. And they don't want any more. And they're kind of surprised when it happens. All right? Because unlike the intelligent Afro man that seeks wisdom and that thinks about decisions and prepares for a future, most other people have not lived around these BAWs to know their character the way we do. The blatant disrespect and worship, especially when people think, I'm a man, I want respect, but I do not want worship. Worship is something that no man wants to tolerate, because we don't want to be God. See, that's a BAW thing, them wanting to be God. We don't want that. So imagine the BAW surprise when they see this video and see this man just telling it like it is. This Caucasian man. We'll get to him in a minute. All right. But the best analogy I can make for the BAW is a skunk. I think a skunk is a real cool animal. The pictures, and you got different types of stripes, but no matter what kind of stripe you see going down the back of an animal that has black fur, you leave it alone. Because if you do something to upset it, you don't want what it got to give. And that's exactly the disposition that the Afro man has been in with the BAW for such a long time. And the smelly spray is the system. You know, the judicial system, the family court system, all these systems that the woman brings to bear on the good Afro man to take away his resources. And it takes a long time for him to get that stink off and recover from that. Just like it takes people a long time to get the smell of a skunk off of them. That's the best analogy I could come up with. You think they're cool from a distance, but you don't want one as a pet, meaning you don't want a BAW as a wife anymore. And you don't want to be in their company for a real long time. Just the same. And if they come in your midst, you slowly jet out. And that's what's happening in these days. We're pushing them out of our groups and everything because they keep trying to come in. They said they didn't want us, so now we're returning the favor. And now you got a whole bunch of women on Facebook pretending to be men, on the YouTube pretending to be men, to infiltrate groups. Think about that for a second. And now the Caucasian men are awakening. Awakening. Yeah, I said that right. Think about that. So let's get into this some more. But first, let me remind you, let's get your thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, and subscribe. When you subscribe, click the notification bell. Don't forget my Cash App and my PayPal me will be in the description box. But don't forget to always take care of yourself and family first before you donate to anybody. That is to include me. All right, but please share the videos. That's just as important. All right, let's roll on. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's listen to this. This is a real eye-opener from an honest man. And again, this was a video I put up on one of my other channels a while back. All right, and take a listen.
Because I was approached by a black woman recently through social media. She said she liked me. I was like, okay. You know, I took her out for a date. And the whole thing, the whole date, was just her basically fawning over me. Not because of who I am, because I'm actually a shit person. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not you know, I really don't think I'm a great individual. I messed up a lot in my life, and I regret it. And you know, though I'm trying to improve, I'm in no way worthy of this kind of flattery.
See, men are generally honest about this. I had the same experience here in Brazil this week. All right, same thing, right? And I was like, okay, this woman is pouring it on kind of thick. All right, same thing. And it bothered me because while I deserve to be respected as a man, I do not seek worship or adoration. I feel what this guy is saying.
I'm not deserving of anything like it. And the whole thing was because I was white. So, you know, to say I was offended, yeah, I think I was. Because that's the only thing that mattered, was the fact that I'm white. And you can guarantee she learned it from a video like from Kristen Carrison, which I've said before. I respect the woman. She's not encouraging people to get into fights on Facebook or whatever. She's not encouraging people to go to someone else's house and harm them. We are not the best dating option. Dead serious. You know, there's other people out there. And I know for a fact, black women, There are black men who are, as just in character, are better than I am.
Notice how he says in character. Notice how he says in character as if he realized that many black women don't date people because of character. He probably realized that about Crystal Carrison too. Alright. He's been listening to the hype, and I know the feeling. Right? You want somebody that sees you deeply for yourself. One of the reasons I like Brazilian women is if I talk to them, they will sit down there and they would want to listen to what I have to say, especially ones that are interested in me in a relationship. They think I'm a deep and intelligent person. The BAW in the United States, on the other hand, thinks I'm a stupid person that's not worthy to be listened to, even though I got degrees and they don't. But if they get a degree, then now the degree matters. Huh? You understand? So if they get a degree, it shows that they're intelligent. If an Afro man gets a degree, it doesn't mean nothing. It's just a piece of paper. See how they flip that? So I take my piece of paper having behind that don't mean nothing to you, and I go somewhere else. Why are you crying because I'm coming down here and doing a lot in this community? I was doing it there first. You see what I mean? Let's hear some more.
They're nicer than I am. They have a superior disposition when in public. Much more patient than I am. Usually I have a short fuse when dealing with the public. I do. So, really, I mean, I want you to understand, we aren't the best. We have our problems. Hollywood describes us as like perfect angels, and we're not. That's fantasy. You know, I want black women to have a lot more self-respect than they do now. Kind of just like worshiping white guys. Again, we aren't deserving of any kind of flattery. We're no better than black men or Hispanic men or Asian men. A lot of us have personal issues.
There it is. All right, and this was a heart-to-heart. But it was a heart-to-heart that the BAWs just wasn't going to listen to. All right. This was a long time ago, pre-2017, that I ran across this and had this video running. But this was, a lot of guys are starting to see the BS. And nobody is liking the way Hollywood is trying to portray anyone. Period. We're telling people openly that the brothers in Hollywood do not speak for the regular brothers on the street. The women on the street, the BAWs, don't speak for nobody in the community. They all for themselves. They could care if the community crash and burn as a result of their actions, because they think they'll make it. But then when they don't make it, and when things, when they have to pay for how they do things, now they're crying for the Afro man to come save them. You know, like Crystal Carrison did when the Vegator went in on her. All right, she cried out for men that she refused to marry, and that she promoted for Afro women to leave alone. She wanted those particular men to come to her aid, because the men that she loved, the Caucasian men, one actually told the truth, and most Afro men were like in agreement again, seeing eye to eye. Whoa. Interesting, huh? So as I said, this is the image that the media is pushing. All right, before when they used to take pictures of the so-called black woman, she used to be facing the guys. All right, we could see the curves, the chest, and stuff like that. It wasn't a bunch of booty shots. This has gotten so bad that these women are famous just because they got a big butt. These are Ghanaian women that are famous for nothing else than they got a big butt. Here's the thing. As they get older, with the stank attitudes, one, these women are not cutting for anybody. Two, they're not going to talk to the regular guy, and chances are they're looking for a rich Caucasian guy. Three, if we leave them alone and find other women, we won't have a desire for them because our needs will be met. You heard? And so this is where we are. The wall is starting to thicken because everybody is starting to be aware of just how evil this is, to just despise somebody that has shed blood for you, that put it on the line for you, and then turn around and say that same dude ain't dead as H, but go to the guy that admits he ain't worth crap as a person. Now I gotta give the dude much respect for even admitting that. So that means he is worth something. He's worth the truth. He's like, I don't know why this woman liked me. Understand? But this is the battle, y'all. Well, it's not a battle anymore. The dudes aren't fighting anymore. We're turning and walking away. One woman couldn't understand why we're walking away. She said, if you just give us a chance. No, you had bloodshed. You had dudes being sacrificed. You had dudes being assassinated on behalf of the BAW. You know, the so-called black woman. And she turned up her nose in disgust for a welfare check, a minuscule piece of cash, and subpar housing. And with that, she destroyed generations. She destroyed their minds. She destroyed the neighborhoods. She destroyed their ability to want to learn. So basically, I want y'all to understand something. The image on the left is what the BAWs push. It's fake, but it's what they push. It's the image that the Hollywood, the Man Noir, Ebony Jet, whatever magazine wants to push. Right? But that's not the reality of who the BAW is. The BAW reality is more so on the right. You'll see what I mean in a minute. But as the left media agenda, the pseudo-fake falsifying BAWs push the right image of the BAW, the Afro man and the Caucasian man is seeing it as poison for differing reasons, but we're coming to the same conclusion. This is a very bad look for the BAW. The thing is, Caucasian men are kind of treading on thin ice when it comes to honesty in these situations. They can't say that they don't like these women because they'll get a worse backlash than the Afro men have. Why? Because they will have destroyed the BAW's dream. That's their dream. All right. The Afro man is not the dream for the BAW, no matter how good he is, even if he makes it to be president, because they don't care. So we have to seek other options, because the dream we're living with is really a nightmare, and we got to separate from what's on the right. right? Entitled. Entitled to the last, right? These women are entitled, feel entitled, destructive. Alright? And of course, we have to preface it with not all. Alright? But what this woman is doing
I'm
to
recording
the
this
store,
shit. Go down there.
to the store is what most, understand this, what this woman is doing to the store is what most BAWs have done to the lives of Afro men. And this isn't the first time we'll see this. It's not the last. This stuff is all over Facebook. Why? Because they feel that they are entitled to everything while giving nothing in return. They like to tout false history that they always had the Afro man's back when they never had the Afro man's back. They could get a lot of simps and manginas to believe it. However, the real men who've seen their resources taken away, see, the thing with the simps and manginas are that they have no real resources. They didn't work towards anything. They sit up and pretty much do nothing. They might work a little bit, but they don't put anything away for anything because they don't need to. They could try to live off the BAW or do whatever it takes to get inside the BAW, if you know what I mean. But in the meantime, this is the real truth. Right here. This is the real truth. And most of the people that having their stuff being destroyed like this is not us in the Afro community because we have no stores anymore. Right? And we don't have any stores because while they have backup money from their country or whatever to rebuild this, the Afro man understands that he can't build nothing with the BAW. We simply cannot. Because as soon as they are in their feelings and think that, see, BAWs think they want to lead the actual creators. So the creators, we must create with someone else. Period. In the story. Here is the other image that the BAW wanted to be known for. All right. And basically, we know what's going on with this. All right. They are no longer useful to anybody that's trying to do anything. They are no longer useful to anybody that's trying to produce anything. We see through all of this. All right. We used to be like, oh yeah, did you, ooh, look at that, and all the rest of that. You don't see that from us anymore. Now we're like, we don't want nothing to do with it. Period. It's been that poisonous to good Afro men, and now the Caucasian men are starting to see the same thing we're seeing. The problem is, when are the BAWs going to wake up and see that most of the men that have finances, that are builders, that are thinkers, don't want nothing to do with them because of the dangers involved with being with them. Oh, they won't have to wake up. You know why? Because the simp community will be there to tow their water. It is really that simple. So this is what you see now. You are seeing the evolution of thought even in the Caucasian community about the QUEANs who think they are QUEENs. And a lot of these men want no parts of this. When I said these BAWs were going to hit that wall alone, they're going to hit that wall alone. Because a lot of the men are seeing, here's the thing. They were already on edge about the BAWs because In the Caucasian community, you watch their movies and stuff like that, they think traitors should be punished. And they're thinking, and we're talking about the lay people, not the government people, because the government people are using this. But the laymen, the ones that the BAWs think they have a chance for, and they've ruined that even. They think to themselves, no, this is just a fantasy, because a woman that will betray her own community is not worthy to wife up. And only a few get wifed up by this community. And it's usually by those that's pushing an agenda. And when you look at the BAWs that they choose, they are alt-right, just as the ones that carry the Confederate flag. All right, they do not speak for the community. That's why they're no longer in the community. They don't care about the community. They were caring about getting themselves ahead, and now they're trying to get people to join in, or they're being used by their handlers to get brothers to come to that side. You see what I mean? Everybody is tired, though. No matter what you say, everyone is getting tired. That's a man that has means of the BAWs in general. Well, let's not say everyone, but men in general are getting tired and are exhausted at the foolishness of the BAW. And men of other communities, they see them as a betrayal to Afro men. As you heard so elegantly explained by the Caucasian man that went out on a date. There's a lot of Afro men that's better than me. Why does she want me? I feel dishonored because it's just my skin. Wow. Who'd have thought that somebody would honestly say what it is from that community? But he did. With that said, I'm out.